Hey guys, Kelly with Farmers Insurance here. Wanted to go over some quick tips to help you figure out what the best level of coverage is for you. One of the constant questions that we get at the agency all the time is, how do we know how much coverage we need? Well, first and foremost, when we're talking about liability insurance, the most important thing to know is we're insuring and protecting your assets, not just the physical car, not just the stuff inside your house, but realistically your net asset worth. So we have a pretty simple, pretty straightforward electronic and paper version of this handy dandy worksheet called the Liability Exposure Worksheet. And what it does is it helps us figure out on paper how much you're worth. If you get into a car accident, for example, with someone else and they are injured, maybe someone gets seriously hurt, maybe someone dies, their attorney is going to be the one that's going to try and do their investigating to find out how much you're worth. What can they get out of you, and not know how much coverage your insurance policy has. So it's really, really important to know that when you're assessing the right level of coverage for your family, that you're calculating a few major components. One is equity in real estate. Your equity in your real estate is truly an asset and you want to treat it as such. So that is a cash value really to you, because if you have to sell your home to pay a debt to someone else, like a judgment on a lawsuit, you may have to liquidate your home, and therefore the equity in your home is going to be of an asset. Two is going to be your income. Income garnishment of wages is, so income meaning garnishment of wages in the event that you do have a lawsuit that you're faced against and you lose the judgment and you're forced to pay the other party. If your insurance policy limits are not enough, if your equity in your home and your financial assets are also not enough, then they can garnish your wages. Up to 50% for 10 years is a real good standard for us to use. So if you make $100,000 a year, you have $500,000 in future income that could be someone else's, not yours, not your bank accounts, not your family's, someone else's, whoever that is that wins that lawsuit. So it's really, really, really important for you to figure out on paper how much it is that your net asset worth is. So again, your real estate assets, your personal assets. So if you had to sell a boat, you had to sell, a ring, if you had to sell things like that, the income, and then obviously your other financial assets. Some people think that their retirement accounts, for some reason, have some level of protection. If you have to pay somebody $500,000, you may end up liquidating your 401k. It doesn't mean that it's a reason for you to keep it safe, or it is safe by law somehow. It's still an asset that you may have to cash out to pay someone else. So with that, every single policy that you have, your auto, your home, your boat, your motorcycle, your rental property, all of these things need to make sure that they're covered with the amount in mind of your assets at risk, your net asset worth, because realistically that could be vulnerable in the event of a lawsuit. So if you need a copy of this, I can send it electronically. I have an Excel spreadsheet. I also have a physical copy. The Excel spreadsheet just is pre-calculated with all of the formulas inside of it to just, you plug in, you have $250,000 in equity in your home, you make $150,000 a year, it's going to calculate it out, all, your 401k, your savings, so forth and so on. So that is a little bit of a tip for you to take to your next insurance review. Or if you don't have an insurance person that you're working with, please feel free to reach out. I'm happy to do a complimentary review. Thank you and have a great day.